there are discrepancies that happen during an emergency or something happen, and people will jump on that thing before you could even log on to the computer.
want to go with liquid assets.
This is an interesting topic because I recently opened an account with Interactive Brokers. I hate them, but they're very powerful. They're very good.
Cheap.
So in that context, they do one thing that none of the other brokerage firms that I have would do. When in the same week, even if it's a monthly, but in that week when it's likely to expire, you sit there, oh my God, I will be either assigned or will expire or whatever. They will send you an email that says the following: if you exercise it now, it's more beneficial to you because you will get the dividend. This option is likely to be exercised before expiration. And all those kinds of things that are related to your option expiring in the current week, they will give you some indication as to what is likely to happen. So far, close to 90+% of the time, what they suspected or notified me of that is likely to happen actually happened. So this early expiration, LTC is something that I own, and just a little, low level, slow moving kind of a thing that I do. And they said they had dividend. I think this week it was going ex-dividend. So they're sending emails that if you exercise this, you will get the dividend. So I didn't care, no nothing. And then they sent me an email, it's likely to be assigned before expiration. I didn't care.
Do you long calls with the dividend coming up or short calls?
Long.
Okay.
And so, anyways, all those odd things that I would never pay attention to, but they send me emails on it, actually happened all this week. Cabinet bid, is that something that you do yourself, or is it a recognized term by brokerage firms?
You would say you ask your brokerage firms, and I want for a cabinet bid on this. So if it's right flat or below out of the money, they will buy it back, and so you won't have to worry about being exercised after the trading ends. I would recommend that you Google it to get the specifics on that. But the market makers generally offer this as a service that they just do. Because some people don't want to deal with an assignment. And that's the way you can reduce the chance of getting assigned.
Anyways, back to you.
Well, let's pursue this a little more. What brokers do have that option?
Well, I think that pretty much all do. It's the market maker that the broker tells the market maker.
Okay. So then you're paying a difference on the commission.
Well, it's just like a penny or something like that. That's $1, I think, to do it.
Okay.
Scott trade is like triple.
Isn't it?
If you get assigned, because I've been assigned early when I wrote some in the money calls and they wanted to swipe the dividend from me.
Yeah.
It's like triple. It's like $21 or $25, whatever, versus $7.
Somebody assigned.
Yeah, so they
were bought by TD Ameritrade, by the way.
Right, but that's what's happened when I've been assigned. Yeah, it's very unpleasant.
Yeah, for Ameritrade it's about twice. Like I think I get $5.95 for normal purchase of stock, and then when I get assignment, it'll be 2 times that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they all ding you on it. It's a revenue raiser for them.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, there are differences amongst the brokerage firms.
But you brought up about dividends is very
right. Because I bought it and then they called it like a month early to swipe the because I was like, wait a minute, well, they've got another month to run on this call. What do you mean? How can they be assigned? Because they're giving up a month of time value. It was to snatch the dividend because the ex-dividend date.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the ex-dividend.
Yep. Even though it was a month early, so I got the free time.
But it was the day of the ex-dividend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why they do it.
Yeah.
No, it's not the day of it. It's the day before.
But yeah, it was so right. The bottom line is so they could get the div.
Right. They don't want you to give you the div.
Right, because the stock appreciated a lot, so it was way in the money, and
that happened to me, and I had a bit of horrendous tax bill because of that. So
well, see that people are doing this for a lot of reasons, but taxes are another reason why somebody might exercise early, even though it's not even to their benefit, but tax-wise, they can get a divvy in there, so that's favorable tax treatment, so they want that, even though, hey, I'm stuck with that, but it's too bad, I'm looking for a lot for myself. That's the way that works.
And I've also been dinged on stuff I wrote calls on where you get something like payment in lieu of, so it doesn't get the tax treatment of a dividend, you're fully taxed on it because you have a stock, you wrote the calls against it, and then I think they sell it out to somebody who's shorting it.
Right.
So you're getting your dollar, if you will, but it doesn't get dividend treatment, it's fully taxed.
It's a concept.
Ordinary income.
Payment in lieu.
Payment in lieu, that's it, thank you.
And that certainly is.
Now, I did call Scott Trade and I said, don't do this, don't short my stuff. So you can call them and ask. They don't have to honor it, but that has helped.
Okay, so they did listen to you. See, I guess you have enough sway with them, so they.
No, anybody can do it. It's not like
Well, I mean, you got to do some business, though, to the attention.
you got to ask.
Well, of course, that's number one. Okay, well, so we're back to you. Is that it for you, Tom?
No, I thought I'd just bring up something that might interest people because our economy is sort of going like this now for the last week or month, and people are a little apprehensive. And I was reading Barron's this morning, and there was one little article about overseas investing, and they brought up Vietnam, and they mentioned 2 ways you can invest in Vietnam. If you want to write these down, did you bring a new marker, huh?
No, it gets recovered after a period of time, but it's it only lasts a while. But
Oh, I thought you were going to bring your own supplies now.
No, I mean that's.
Okay, all right. The first one is Matthews. Everybody may have heard of Matthews, but they're very big in the Asian area.
Okay, you're talking about fund.
A Matthews fund. Yeah.
It's a mutual fund?
Yes. Gary.
I didn't think we did mutual funds in this club.
Well, all right. Let's go. The symbol is MEASX. You can
MEAXX?
And the other one, well, this is a fund. The other one is an ETF, and it's VNM.
Now we're talking. Yes.
Victor, Nancy, Mary.
Vietnam, huh?
Yeah.
Vietnam.
Yeah,
I get it.
I don't know. You have a chart in front of you?
Yep.
How's it look?
It's not. It looks pretty choppy in terms of the liquidity.
That's the whole problem with Vietnam.
2.8 yield on it.
Yeah. The liquidity is a big issue.
You get like 90,000 stocks, traded.
Trade, yeah.
For a day.
This is really, if you want to take a shot at something, I think from what I've seen lately or read lately, Vietnam seems to be taking business away from China.
Yeah, oh no, it's been for a while now.
There may
Couple
be
years
some
at least.
potential. However, the infrastructure within the country is still basic. It's not doing too much.
Yeah. So
I have a colleague who went to Vietnam a couple of times in a couple of years. There's a lot of building they're offering visitors to buy the property, and you can get it for 50 years. And the government will let you own it for 50 years, and then you have to sell it. So they're good capitalism on that, and things are looking up. So
I was just in Vietnam earlier this year.
Oh, yeah.
You were.
I went to Japan and Vietnam earlier this year. So what's interesting is that in Vietnam, a lot of the investments are from Japan and Korea. So they are pouring a lot of money there to build resorts and hotels and
great tourism
apartments
spot,
and,
right?
Yeah, and then there are also there's a big project happening at least in Ho Chi Minh right now. They're trying to build the railroad system, or like kind of like what we have here, the metro system. So I do see in a few more years it's gonna be somewhat more, a lot significantly more developed than
Do you think
is.
tourism is the biggest industry there, or is it manufacturing, or?
The thing is, it has to be tourism.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I was there, almost every block they were selling food. That's like their main thing, restaurants and service. That's it. I didn't see any
Topographically,
manufacturing.
Yeah. There's a lot of beautiful stuff along the coast.
Yeah.
It's very beautiful, unique stuff topographically that you can see, right?
And also like exports, like coffee and oil and a bunch of other stuff. So I think they're mainly exporting commodities and then tourism. That's
Samsung has moved one of their production facilities to Vietnam.
For investment purposes, though, do we trust their reporting mechanism? Just like I'm leery of China, this is also a centrally controlled government that manipulates the message. Do people trust investing in Vietnamese companies?
That's the risk.
You pay a premium there, yeah.
Yeah.
But I agree, it's
think,
booming.
Tom,
I saw that trend.
Yeah. I always look at volume for liquidity. We were talking about liquidity before. It looks like it does 138,500 shares a day. Slightly traded, so you're gonna play bid and ask. For my style, I like to mitigate selling calls, as we talked in the past, so you're not gonna have that opportunity here. So that's a more risky approach, I think.
Do they even have options?
They might, but they're not very liquid, and the spreads are so big, it's not worthwhile probably.
Okay, that's it. Whatever you do there, it's definitely long term.
Michael, you're next.
Kind of things that we earlier talked about, writing strangles for Apache. I do Apache and many other things, but of course Apple is one that has the most number of options trading, has been for many months now. So we've already looked at Apache, and there are many others, but if you want to look at Apple, it's looks like in range too. Has been for a few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Apache is down, and this is trading.
So, absolute value, its price does not really matter to me in this strategy. It's only what it's going to do, what the mean value is, and what the channel is, and whatever stock.
0.6 yield, so.
Yeah, but yield is something that it's not on my mind at all. It's
Not your mind, but yeah, I like this some cash in there.
Talk about
Yeah.
liquidity, 25 million shares each and every day.
imagine
right
that.
there.
So I don't even know what the future of this company is, where the stock price is going. I have no faith, no idea. I know what GE does, but I don't know what Apple does, other than what we already know. But that general thing, based on that, some option strategies have worked very well in this case, and hope that continues until I retire.
So what strategies do you use on Apple?
What
What strategy specifically do you use on Apple?
triangles, and I'm like sitting there, whatever it does, I try to
So
take
you
action.
sell specifically, you sell a put, you sell a call, at what strikes right now?
In this case, I may have 20 positions,
Oh.
so it's not one specific
Straddling,
one.
straddling, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So not
Staggering,
only that,
staggering.
but I sense that here, which I thought it was just something that I was doing. Even during the week, I don't mind rolling it up and down.
Wow, so you're really active.
I would do that. Monday I did something and price changes. Tuesday I may roll it to up and down, and not be caught naked on Friday. And so, even if commission has become meaningless now, it's such a small fraction of the total cost of the trade.
Who do you use?
Uh,
Interactive Broker?
Interactive brokerage just now, you mentioned.
I
Okay.
I have an account with Interactive Broker, but this kind of stuff is with Fidelity.
Okay.
And Interactive Broker, I'm still learning them. There are a lot of advantages doing business with them, if you can deal with them. But this is Fidelity
Let me ask
stuff.
you this, and Tom as well. So there is the danger for those who are trying this at home. If you write the call, and
I do it in my car.
You write.
I do it while I'm driving.
And,
Not at all.
and suddenly some news comes out, iPhone 8 sales predicted to be double what they are, and then the thing shoots up to 175. You're in a heap of trouble if you don't cover that. So do you ever do iron condors?
let me
for credit.
give another way other than Condor. I'm also doing something like he is with Apple, but I took a completely different viewpoint on this.
That's good.
This is what makes a market.
I need somebody at the other end.
Okay.
You're trying to capture the volatility, right?
Well, not on this case.
Okay.
Okay, in this case, everybody's talking about what Apple is going to do in September. And there's a lot of unknown features coming up. They may be coming up with some super phone that fanatics are going to all buy, or they may get involved, which I think would be health. I think Apple should get involved in the health market. Be that as it may, I bought the 155 call, and I'm writing the weeklies. And on that return, this week I made 20%.
Wow. In a week.
Because in a week.
Now, wait a minute, the ones that you bought are way out there 6 months?
They're out January 2018.
Right.
Leaps.
It's,
So that's not a leap because it's only 6 months.
okay, January 18, and I bought the 155. Now they're trading around $7.50 or something like this.
You, Tom, I'm gonna do that when I.
And I wrote the 150 call, and Friday I bumped it up to 150 next week.
I'm sorry, you said 155, you bought the 155 and you
I
wrote
bought I bought the January call,
155.
and I wrote the weekly Fridays.
What's right?
150. When I saw it was over 150, I bumped it up to next week.
Because that can be called away from you, right? Because-
Well, I didn't want it called.
I understand.
So what I do is I buy it back Thursday or Friday, depending on where it is,
That's-
and if it will, then I make so much.
Because the 150 had a premium. You sold the 150 for maybe $7, perhaps, something like that.
No, I bought the 155.
I understand.
Well, I don't want to go into too much detail.
No, I understand, because-
this is personal. I don't want to go into my personal
No,
strategies.
the main point was
I'm doing
because
it-
of getting called away. You want to have enough premium so you don't.
Well, you always look at it Thursday, see what you want to do,
Sure.
and Wednesday what you want to do.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah, that's the only point, yeah.
But if it's in the money like it was, I buy it back and I wrote the next week,
Absolutely.
so I'm not called.
So you're on another 150.
Well, this time it was another 150.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is an answer to your question, what happens if the stock jumps? If the stock jumps,
No, you're
I'm
okay.
making a lot of money
Oh, no,
on
you-
the
that
No,
155.
that wasn't my question. That wasn't my question, Tom. My question was writing that in a strangle, when you're writing that with APA.
I only do
the negative,
strangles on where I see it in a channel.
Right,
Different stocks have different behavior.
that's the point of, if you're writing a naked call, yeah.
And just to make an interesting point, what you said, a sudden jump, that happened to me for Netflix this week, last
Oh,
week.
yeah.
And so I was thinking that it will never go to 160. Well, never mind that. It went to 183, 84. So what did I do in that case after crying a little bit? And
We've all been there.
a lot. I tried to roll it. Now, here's the interesting thing that you may have observed.
Vince,
You want NFLX?
Rolling it is NFLX.
NFLX,
NFLX?
the National Football League X.
Yeah. When it was 183.
There, your gap up.
oh,
Yeah, that's what happened to me. So that's what you were saying. What if that happened?
Right.
So I'm sitting there, 160 calls that I thought was, oh my God, it's going to expire. It goes to 183, 84, and I'm trying to roll 160, do something, and upside premium is so small. Absolutely nobody wants to, just not there. For example, 160 premium and 183 premium for next week.
Oh,
I couldn't even go even.
Yeah, the
It was that tough.
volatility had.
You're
That's
contracted. Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm still staying on those positions. That lose sleep and be in pain, all those kinds of things. So those are happening here. Trump is not helping any.
I
Market
was
goes
just saying,
up no matter what
time
happens.
heals all, right? Time heals all.
Hopefully. So anyway, other than all this option stuff, stock that is just stock by itself, SBAC. If you could put that up.
You mind if I sit with you guys?
SBAC, Charlie.
Oh.
Okay.
Here we go.
Thanks for giving Michael that information. He's a nice kid.
Yeah, this is something that is doing very well. Has trickled a little bit of money in it at times. With the point of view of, hey, my God, where are those stocks that go up? Well, this has been doing well. So something to look at for not options players, but stocks. Even though options trade very well on that too.
What do these guys do, Michael?
Communications company.
They're what?
Communications company.
Communications. So.
But times have changed. What is Verizon today? Used to be telephone. What is AT&T today? These are the companies that are just changing. From those of you who've been around for a while, AT&T, what we call AT&T today, is not even the AT&T that used to be. This AT&T is actually a regional communications company morphed into global monster. So a lot of these companies are morphing. The idea is not their basic business, but the idea is how well they can adapt to the changing markets like Verizon is struggling with it now. By the way, I'm proud owner of Verizon too. So you name any of the stocks, AT&T, Verizon, GE, IBM, hey, I own them all. But this is a good looking stock, good looking chart. Okay, enough for me.
Can I ask you one quick one? 'Cause
Sure.
you said you own GE, and I do too. What are your thoughts?
Man, I have no idea what G is gonna do. It could be a 14. I remember Luke Heiser and some of his friends.
Yeah, the L's.
They used to be interested in
Vince.
G.
Vince, pull up GE, please.
General Electric.
At that time, one of the guys on Luke Heiser said, I don't know if it's a $14 stock or $1,400 stock. I still remember that, how right he
Well,
was.
now it's so it's a $14 or a $2 stock. I just had an earnings report. They were very underwhelming.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
said-
it gapped down.
No, it's down at
I
25.
have no idea what to do with it.
And so they have a new CEO coming on. Maybe he'll be the catalyst.
So I don't know what's going to happen to anything like that. But GE, Gilead, Coke, IBM, Cisco, Intel, in one of my portfolios, all of that stuff's been sitting there for years and years and years. I have
So
no
you
clue.
just you don't even
I have
worry
no
about
clue what
GE.
to
You
do with it.
don't even worry about it.
I don't know.
You know the guy Kevin O'Leary from the Shark Tank? He was on one of the shows yesterday. He said that's where money goes to die. GE.
Right.
You're getting
That
a
was the funniest line.
3.6% yield on it, so you're getting paid.
If you bought it in 37, what's 3.2% going to do? I'm done.
Rick, you're next.
Okay, I'll go to the other. So we talked about dividends or stuff making 20% in the week. Last week I made 2 cents.
Oh my God.
How many times?
Okay, dividend. Okay, the purpose here: dividends buy hold. The symbol is EXG. It's a closed-end fund.
Yeah, we like
Plug
those.
that in, Vince.
E as in
E
dog.
is in Edward. E is in Edward. X is in X-ray. G is in George.
This is we. He's the manager. He's the guy that has the link. So if you can't make it, you can
Edward,
stream.
X-ray, Gary.
You can stream in and listen.
Okay.
You know, that is a 5% yield.
People are listening.
Yeah,
in.
so-
See right here. That's okay.
I bought it for the dividend. It's buy, hold, collect your dividend, repeat.
What is the expense ratio on that? Is it above 1%?
It's something I had some holdings on. It was up. There's been dividend increases on it. It's just, like I said, it's just buy, hold, collect your dividends. It's not sexy. It closed the week 2 cents higher from when I bought it. That's it.
But the closed-end funds, are they more expensive to carry? Because
Yeah,
They're the old people's funds.
Yeah, in fact, I think this is one of Gary's recommendations from back
I don't know, I
then.
recommend it.
See how many people you're influencing, Gary?
Do you like this, Gary?
You know, it has not come up as a favorable one for my system, so That's all I know, my own system, that doesn't show it up at your system.
What is the favorable one in your system, Gary?
Oh, right now, these tax-free ones are really, they're rich discounts, all that, and everything. So
For
that's,
rich people.
Give me a name.
Or
Well,
ticker,
I like,
a ticker.
You know, I like the NVV, the local Virginia one, because it's, you know, decent, you know, that's extra sweet for our Virginia taxpayers.
Right. I've been doing some GDV for the same reason. I don't know if this hit your radar screen or not, but yeah.
It doesn't
Okay.
hurt. I
Okay.
recommend Virginia.
Next one, GOOD. This is another buy, hold, collect dividend. Okay. What happened, if you look, you see kind of a spike down,
Yeah.
is they issued a
there's
bunch.
gap here.
Yeah, the gap down, right, you can see a big gap that just happened last week. They issued a whole bunch of shares. So if you wanted to buy in, this would be a good time to do it, because they just issued a big bucket of shares and it slammed the price. So, I mean, I've been a long-term holder, so in one day I saw, you know, whatever, 5% evaporate on me, but I've held it for years. You can see dividend yield about 7.5%.
Right.
The-
Empty yield.
How often do they issue shares like that? Once a year?
I find they seem to do it whenever it gets in the 20s. If you look at a
Okay.
5-year chart,
I see.
it's actually fairly predictable. Can you pull it up for like 5 or 10 years? They have never raised dividend on this thing. You're not going to see a dividend increase.
Wow.
But for a buy, hold, yeah, if you look at it, if anything, it seems to get a nosebleed when it gets up in the 20s, because and they typically just issue more shares.
They got down so much in the 2016
Yeah,
there.
That was when everything kind of took a dump.
2013.
Yeah, and they've never, for years and years, they have never raised a dividend. It's a monthly dividend, 12.5 cents.
That's not the Brexit. Sorry.
Yeah, there was a Chinese flash crash and the circuit breaker implemented.
When you say they issue more shares, what do you mean, they're selling them on the market to new buyers?
Yes, yeah, the news just came out last week, and that's why the price got whacked.
How
So,
do they manage to get 7.5%? What are they doing?
it's actually in this area, they do real estate, and I think they do some loans and some real estate, and that's their business model. And I look at the growth in this area, so it's been a warm fuzzy, just buy, hold, stick it under my pillow. Very happy with the yield on it.
Excuse me, what was the ticker on that?
GOOD.
Good.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
simple and good, you know.
Yeah.
Good and glad.
Yeah, you're not going to get rich off of it. What I'm buying it for is a steady dividend.
Mhm.
I bought it for income.
So Rick, how do you see the sensitivity to interest rates? Let's say our interest rates go up by another % next year. Do you see this coming down a little bit?
And I get my 7.5. I don't care.
Sure.
Yeah.
And if it makes you feel any better, Rick Malone recommended this in 2000, and he's deceased now, but he was a regional value investor. Gary can tell you about him.
Yeah, I know.
He knew this gentleman who runs Glad and Good, and I think there's
It's
another
Chris
one.
Sawada who developed it.
WRE.
Is the other one?
Well, that's one of the value ones in real estate in this
Yeah.
area. But WRE is doing crappy.
Well, I didn't. Yeah, I just know he knows the Gladstone guy, or knew the Gladstone people very
Yeah.
well. They were
Yeah.
friends of his,
Okay.
and when they first went, I think it was 2000 or 2001, he came out with these Good and then Glad, and I think there's a third one of that family.
Perhaps O Realty, I do
Gain.
good, glad.
Gain's the other one.
Yeah.
O Realty at the same time, yeah.
I got a comment on this. I just don't like the idea of buying a stock for dividend, because here a stock
Then we just
goes-
made a market because I'm buying all the crap you don't want.
I see a stock at $20 back here in 2013, and a couple of years go by and the stock is down to 16, and then another couple of years go by and the stock is 23. You're not guaranteed a damn thing about how a stock is going to behave because it's got a big dividend. You better know what the earnings are going to be. It's earnings that drive the stock, not dividends.
Even
And
if the
I,
price
and
was,
I cash my checks every month.
Buying a stock for dividend.
Hey, it's anything's possible. Nothing can be ruled out.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a buyer, you have to have a disagreement to have a buyer and a seller to make a market. We just made a market. You're selling it, I'm buying it. And there we go.
Yeah, I mean, over long term, you gotta make sure a company is generating enough.
Sure,
to
yeah,
cover
they
the
have to make
dividend.
enough to cover your
So
dividend.
dividends don't like guarantee returns.
That's
Nope.
right.
Yeah.
They don't.
It doesn't. They guarantee anything.
Could you enhance your yield to 7.5 by doing anything else with it? Do they
There-
have options?
They have options on it, but the premiums are like nothing. They're not worth dealing with because, you know, everybody looks at it as like, what would be the point buying a call option on a company like this?
You know, what you would have a profit on is if you could anticipate when they're gonna do something like this.
And if you know that, that would probably be illegal.
Well, no, but you read the tea leaves from their financial reports saying, hey, you know, it looks like they're gonna do an issue to get a lot more cash. I mean, I think there are people who think they can do something like that. Now, whether it actually does work, I don't know. But I think there are people out there who think they can figure it out.
Okay, the other thing, now I'll leave the abstract and go to the real world. I've got some friends who are science guys, and they told me about this thing called Nova Labs. It's a business incubator. So I just went out there last night just to check out what they're doing.
Oh, okay. Why don't you-
And what they do, I brought a card for them. It's open to the public. Anybody can just walk in there. It's a business incubator. So they have all these businesses started. They have a room back there with all of these laser cutters, printers, wood lathes, metal lathes, drill presses.
Is it in Crystal City? Is that?
This particular one is at 1916 Isaac Newton Square in Reston, Virginia.
Okay.
And so they have all this equipment. I mean, sewing machines, T-shirts, you name it. And if you join them for $50 a month, and you have to go to their safety classes, you can use all this stuff to make and invent anything you want to do. And there's people out there doing all kinds of stuff. There was a guy out there like with T-shirts. There's people who've invented, I forget, like little spinny things for the kids buy.
The fridge spinners.
Purchase. I mean, it goes on and on. But the point is, you as a public can go for $50 a month to join. Otherwise, you can go and just hobnob with entrepreneurs and little people looking to float business ideas. So that's the address. I've got a card. I just walked in and kind of looked around, and I just asked people, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Okay.
People love talking about their ideas and innovations and stuff like that. There are some actual businesses out there, so I'll throw that out as far as instead of securities are an abstraction, these are real people starting real businesses or just going out there having fun inventing stuff. And inventors are interesting people. Inventors and entrepreneurs are very interesting people.
But I will have to throw this out there. Somebody who's invented it, if you can believe it.
So I can pass this around if somebody wants to. You want to take a picture with their phone, whatever, and just go check them out.
Somebody has invented we call this paperfuge, which replaces the centrifuge. You can do it for 20 cents. They can centrifuge out a blood
Yeah, I mean they have thousands of dollars worth of equipment that you can just use. You have to take the safety classes that you can just use and invent your stuff and do your stuff. And people out there are interesting and they're engaged in what you want to do. They have their own ideas. It's pretty cool. So it's like I said, it's entrepreneurial, and I'll pass the card around for whoever wants to take a phone picture of it.
All right. So is that it for you, Rick?
That's it.
Steve, you're next.
Can you check GIS? It's I think it's General Mills. Really, were they good or bad? Or?
No, I'm asking because I know they give good dividend. I had gone in and out to collect dividend.
Yeah.
It's a stock that has good dividends that's killing you.
Huge aren't dividend collectors.
See, last year, an increase in value.
You know what happened?
They did well there.
When
But I mean, that's
reason for
that's just what you think. Yeah, that's what's important. Everybody's got their own hand.
The only other thing, maybe
Well, there used to be a guy that sat at the corner, the older gentleman sat at the corner of the table, recommended like years ago, and when the market was more uncertain, and it did well when the market was kind of more riskier or more uncertain, because it was secure, I guess, because it was more secure. So it did really well in mid-2016. But then it trailed off when the general market in November, November of 2016, when the rest of the market was going up, this one was tanked. So it's very cyclic, or counter to the market. It's whatever that metric is.
I do know. I'm a little familiar with what people are thinking now. They're worried about younger people are not so concerned about branded items. Now that's all in the market. General Foods, they have all these brands. They spend so much money on their brands, and people don't think it's important anymore. So they're spending all that money and competing with other companies that don't have a brand and they're much less costly. That's the thinking. Now that may not be right. But I think that kind of explains why the sentiment is like this.
That may be.
Your guess is as good as mine if that's valid or not. I mean, I really don't know.
Yeah, I also think it has to do with this change in the mentality of the millennials of shifting more towards protein heavy and heavy fiber diet and staying away from high carb, products. Essentially allows them to be more lean and I guess less prone to being obese.
High sugar.
Yeah, low sugar. So a lot of ready-to-eat products, I think usually they got high contents of carbs and corn syrup and a bunch of other unnecessary nutrients.
Nobody knows. I mean, that's just their guessing.
But at least that's why I noticed the trend going on in YouTube and the friends I know, people like going Planet Fitness, they'll recommend this type of diet, like low carbs, no sugar.
Is that it for you then, Steve?
You gonna hang on to it?
Well, I almost forgot about it. It's one of those stocks that's been sitting there like you have in your portfolio.
Yeah. Another story. Yeah.
And back years ago when the market was more risky or uncertain, it was like one of those stocks.
Defensive stocks.
Defensive, yeah.
It's 3.6 yield. So I mean, you're getting a little something for owning it.
Yeah, and it got a lot of good appreciation in the last year, 2016, and you can see where it plateaued. I mean, there's a perfect plateau there.
July last year.
And that would have been the time to take some gains.
If you'd known.
If you'd known, yeah. You wanted to take the gains.
Yeah, but what is the 3.6 yield versus a 30% fall?
Well, yeah. See, the reason I ask you what are you going to do with it, because whether it's this, GE, Cisco, Intel, question is the same. What do we do with some of these things that we have loved and owned for years and years? What's the next step? I do not know. You asked the same question about GE. Question is that, what do we do with these big companies that we grew up with? Now what? That wasn't easy. I don't know.
Look at the business model. You brought up Intel. There's a lot of promise for Intel Mobileye, the acquisition we talked about in the past. That's going to blossom in perhaps next.
What do we do with this?
General Mills didn't buy Mobileye, so I'm not sure what they're.
Yeah, so this is interesting because I actually talked to Jay, the other guy. He owns hundreds and not thousands of symbols because of the same issue.
Right.
Over time, he has a portfolio that's 100%. He becomes so profitable. He thinks maybe I should take some out. So he takes out 25%. They level 75% and move on to some other stock. And over the duration of his life, I think he's basically got his own S&P 500 or whatever, J500. So I think it's
how much the ETF and go play tennis.
Exactly. So it's how much you're willing to trade off what you're holding and find another business that can be more profitable and just suck it up and sell it and then move on to something new and hopefully better.
New like Netflix, right?
Actually, I have a comment about General Mills, and I'm not sure if this is true for them, but I know like for Campbell's Soup and stuff, they're most likely in the agribusiness business. They're not just selling cereal. So, like Campbell's Soup doesn't just sell soup. They own big farming conglomerates. So there's other. You're not just investing in soup. What do you call it? Fruit Loops or something like that. So just a food for thought. No pun intended.
Wouldn't the sector also, be a little out of favor now, because when I would think General Mills is a conservative stock when things are bad. So things are going well, but when things are not great, that's when General Mills and Campbell's and that in years past at least, they've done well. So it's just out of favor because the economy's good. But when the economy's not so good, these guys are defensive plays like utilities and things of that nature.
Exactly the point that we were making earlier about Verizon and AT&T have suffered 50% downshifts. When the economy goes down a little bit, you might see those come up there as well.
So these
AT&T just spiked up, actually, I think.
A full 30 cents, wow.
Well, but you can
After
tell,
coming down 20.
like Vin says, you gotta wait for it to come back to go into it, but it's, it's.
Well, they're gonna have earnings on Tuesday, so we'll see what happens on Tuesday with earnings on AT&T.
Okay, Steve, is that it for you?
Well, can you do a compare on that chart? Put an index any index like S&P or the Dow Jones, and you can measure
I can put in anything you want.
Any index, Dow Jones or
S&P.
SPY.
DIA maybe.
Yeah. There
you see how counter it is when in the middle of 2016 when the Dow dropped, General Mills that's when it jumped up 4 or 5 points.
Sure.
So yes, it's defensive. So if the red line, the whatever index you used, starts dropping, I think this would counter that decline.
I point out this area right here.
10 years ago, it was like
this is rising and this isn't. So in a sense, relative strength is weak.
I'm going to say it's POTUS.
I'm sorry, what is rising and what isn't?
There's a Korean stock that's
Dow Jones Industrial Average is rising.
POTUS.
Oh, okay, so
and
it's
this
going
stock,
against the trend.
General Mills is not rising, and so from a relative strength standpoint,
what is it?
POSCO.
Yeah, that's the POS.
What we hear is an inverse correlation.
Inverse correlation, inversely correlated. That's what I was
They
thinking.
usually do pretty good in the steel industry.
Okay, is that it
They're
for
in
you?
Korea, but I guess that's
well,
the issue. It's
You want to
always-
look at Home Depot, which was down this week. I heard they got hit because
They got Amazon. They got
Yeah.
Amazon.
No, well, Sears and Amazon.
Well, that's what it is.
Made the,
Amazon selling, Sears can work.
Right.
Can I make a comment too, since you brought Home Depot? Just a quick one.
Or HD, Vincent.
A friend of ours had dinner with us last Saturday, and he's not into investing, but he's in construction. He's in construction, and he said the economy is going to correct. He said when I go to Home Depot now, because he picks up the laborers and brings them in, there's not as many of them. There's not as much business. When he goes up to Maryland to get equipment and products, he used to go later in the day because all the construction guys were there. They're not there anymore. What he's doing is renovation work and small projects. It's not like he's building 1,500 homes.
John, can I ask you?
But that's just something to think about. I mean, when somebody tells you that, you keep that in your mind. Well, he thinks the economy's hurting.
John, can I ask you, real quick, is he comparing it to July of last year?
He's comparing it to what he's seen. This guy's 62 years old. He's been in the construction industry for over 30 years. And he's not a major player where he's building huge homes. He's doing renovation projects. He's doing garages. He's doing walkways. But he said to us, these are signals I'm seeing that business is slowing down.
I appreciate that, but by the other hand, this past week, we had a report on new housing starts, and they were up, right?
Yep.
Unexpectedly higher.
But just
the other thing is, this is a very small geographical area, and they've been having a great deal of trouble finding land around here to build on anyway, so they can't build as much around here as other places.
But would those guys be using Home Depot in those? This is smaller activity. This is not
remodeling.
I will say renovation is what it is. So I'm just saying that's a signal. I'm not saying the economy is going to crap out. But when he did say that, Home Depot and Lowe's went down 2 days later. He had dinner with us on Saturday, and I was talking to the guy about Verizon and AT&T, who's also a building guy on the side, and he picked up on both of them coming down. So it's something to think about.
What did you say about AT&T Verizon? They will pick up because
he bought them both. But
that's right. That's the guy
we
we were
talked
talking
about
about.
him. But I mentioned the same scenario about Home Depot. The only reason, and I don't want to take away from your time, you mentioned Home Depot, and it just there might be something going on. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, what does the lack of available labor mean?
Well, the point, no, it's not just the lack of labor. There's not people going in and using the products at Home Depot. They're not the people going in and buying equipment. I don't know. I'll have to ask Antonio. I don't know where he goes up in Maryland, but he goes up in Maryland to get supplies, like concrete or whatever he does his projects. And no one, and what I'm saying is what he said, and he's been in this for 30 years. I used to go up later in the morning because it was I couldn't get the equipment. There's too many people there.
You're saying that there's less customers in the store.
So there's something underneath. He's saying, I think keep your eyes open. And he doesn't do stocks or any of this stuff. He's just telling us about his.
It could also be a change in source, right? Because now
maybe
instead of going to this Home Depot, there might be a local shop or
Amazon.
Well, it's just something to keep in mind. I just, that's a signal.
John, it's ice. It's ice.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
It's not just the employees I'm talking about the guys he picks up. No, I'm talking about people using the store as well. You're right, ice is involved, but it's not just that. I mean, I'm trying to say it doesn't look like Home Depot's getting as much business and people aren't buying as much supplies for construction. That's all. That's my point here.
What do the financials show?
They've been going up the financials.
See, the financials are the macro picture. You're talking about a guy going to a store and not seeing either people going in there that store and buying. Which is
well, it wasn't just that store, Steve. It wasn't just that store. It's his transactions where he goes, and I don't know the name of the store up in Maryland he goes to. It's not Home Depot. Home Depot's here.
It's just an anecdotal data point.
It's just something to think about. I'm just telling you that.
Right. But see, that market has big box stores like Home Depot and Lowe's, and then there's mom and pop stores like and then there's a store out in Hernan called Harbor Freight. They make tools or whatever. And then there's like smaller and smaller mom and pop, and then there's painting shops like Sherwin-Williams and so forth. So there's a lot of levels.
Well, he's not, and he's not being, and this is not critical of Home Depot. I'm just trying to tell you there's something that could be in the economy there. That's all I'm sharing.
This is what
John, I do have a point to support what you said. You just mentioned Sherwin-Williams. There was a report earlier last week. Sherwin-Williams down sales. People using less paint. And that's why Home Depot went a little bit down. The next step down was the Amazon effect. Thank you, John.
The internet effect could be affecting the retailers too. I don't know.
Well, when I see him, I'll ask him where he goes, what the outfit is up in Maryland. But they were just.
Ask the store manager. So you go to Sherwin-Williams or Home Depot. Just ask the staff if sales are up or down.
You can go there right now.
Is that it for you, Steve?
Yeah, that's fine.
So you
How's
covered
Netflix though?
Yeah, not changing my positions, just waiting for the coming week for Amazon and Facebook. I don't think if it comes down not much, that's what I'm hoping, but even if it's down, I don't change my position. Just
So you're holding basically.
yeah, basically I hold it even if it comes down.
And how about Baba? Same thing.
Alibaba, I'll hold it for next couple of years. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
I don't change that position to.
Yeah, that's like the Google. That's
Netflix, of course. My conviction is changed. That's why I sold Netflix with profit, but still stock was still good. I don't have any regret there. But it's still, that's fine. That's all. That's all. Yeah.
All right, the lady next to you.
Oh, hi. I will pass my time.
Oh, shoot, man, that's right.
Everybody's
So you
got
got double
one.
time now.
Yeah, I think the thunder has been stolen. Pretty much, I was going to talk Micron and you. I did take a position late Friday, and they're these guys, the Nigerian brothers, unusual options activity. A lot of people buying calls on Micron, even though Micron was kind of languishing this week. So I thought I'd go in with them, and Tom mentioned earlier he was called away, maybe called away. APA was another issue that we talked about earlier, but I got actually assigned because I sold puts on APA Apache some months ago or so. I sold some puts, so let's say 50, low 50s. Got assigned, and I think I made more money while the stock went down 10% by selling calls, the weeklies, just selling calls after week after week, and just selling calls against it, and
Okay, so you sold calls against your already established stock.
the established stock of last month, and
Because it's very easy to get confused on the stock. That's
the stock went down from 55 to 48 to 46. I'm still making money because of the calls.
Yeah. Your cost average down.
So watch Way's YouTube thing on writing calls. HD, we talked about it as well. Again, there were the two-step. Thanks for reminding me of Sherwin-Williams. That was one of the catalysts. But Home Depot took up quite a dive, and I think that was too much. If you take a look at HD, that's quite a break, right? I don't think that was justified. To this observer anyway.
46.
Hit kind of resistance level, so I took an opportunity to sell some calls here at 140. I sold some, and then I think we're going to see our really retracement. We did see some bounce back from around 145, 144. So puts again.
during the work.
What did I say?
Calls. You said calls.
I do retract that statement. Sell puts. Sell puts. And also you saw sympathetic performance about with Best Buy. Best Buy was also supposedly getting Amazon because of the Sears deal. The Sears is going to sell their Kenmore line through Amazon, and Sears stock went up quite a bit this week. And HD, Best Buy, Lowe's. Anybody who is in the crosshairs of Amazon. What's that?
Best Buy is
BBY also went down.
Yeah. Talking like us.
So these are maybe opportunities to pick up BBY as well. This might be overdone. The other thing was
2.2% yield.
yeah, Nazir had told us about biotech, and he was right. I wish I had put all my money in biotech. But things like Gilead, GILD you mentioned earlier, that was brought up to my attention by a Josh Brown, who comments on Fast Money halftime report on CNBC. Loves this chart on GILD. Big biotech. He still got some work to go here. I think Vince loves this chart. Look at that. He's smiling at it. Got a cup in hand going there. Because it's kind of a laggard on this biotech stuff, you know, because a lot of biotechs have already gone up. And I think I will yield the balance of my time to Mr. Brown.
Right down here next.
Excuse me, can I ask you a question? Why is Best Buy going up?
The BBY, no, that's Gilead. So BBY took a dive because of the Amazon effect. See that? See that went down on Thursday?
But from 2017, it's been going up, right? Even though like Congress is saying certain cities.
Right, they have taken it to Amazon. So the storyline is that, the narrative is that people go into Best Buy, use it as a showroom, go back home and order it on Amazon, right?
Showroom.
It's a showroom for Amazon, right? And they don't buy from them. So BBY, Best Buy said, okay, we're gonna deal with that. We're gonna match that Amazon price and probably give you a discount over that. So that took the stock up a bit. And then some. They've restructured management. Now, this downtrend here could be the Amazon effect that you had with Kroger's. They bought, Whole Food Markets. It was a catalyst to get people thinking about, oh, well, Best Buy might be next. They're going to sell everything at Best Buy and want to even undercut them. So at this point, I would look at it as an overreaction because they can only do so much. I think people want to feel stuff. I want to see the fridge before I buy it. I can't see it on a picture. How big is it? What the lights look like when I open the door, and how big is that drawer underneath? I can't look at it. How far is that going to go? I don't know.
Especially high-priced items.
John, or with you?
Papa Lima Delta.
Papa Lehman Jones. That's it?
Papa Lima Delta.
Oh, Delta.
I never heard of this one, Joe Logic.
They bought out one of the other REITs industrial REITs that I own, and so I filled out the holdings.
And that's got about a 3% yield, okay? So you got it by a merger.
No, I got it by a merger a while back, and I bought more.
Okay, so you had it.
Yeah. I had an interesting discussion with my Fidelity contact. Apparently, they've gone to voice recognition now for their clientele.
By the way, I want to put in a plug for Fidelity. I had a call from you. I was very impressed with Fidelity services, and they do not sell their orders. So I wasn't aware of that. So, and they take pride in giving us better execution than your other brokerage firms. I mean, it may not be that much to people, but to me, I thought, well, I like that idea, that concept. That Fidelity has a little higher standard for their services.
Online, yes. I mean, I just want to say online it's very true, but in person they're just as hard pusher as anyone else.
I can't argue with that. I don't know, but I did have good experience with them.
They're excellent online. Their staff online.
Okay, and I'm kind of hanging in there with the GE question myself. I think what I'm going to do is just put it on a watch list, and when I see it make that hook, I'll start jumping in.
The Vince hook.
An IBM.
Passes Vince standard.
What was that last day that caused that?
The what?
Yesterday.
They had earnings, Vince.
Earnings. Yesterday had better earnings.
Vince.
So Vince, you don't think it's going to go up? I'm sorry, not Vince, Don. You don't think it's going to turn around anytime soon?
Well, he's waiting for the turnaround, then he'll buy it.
Oh, so he doesn't have it right now? Oh, okay.
Don?
Vince.
What are you fighting?
Don, what level would you consider getting in? Because I was thinking under 25.
What about selling some puts at 25, so they put it to you? Do it that way.
Yeah, that's...
Sell some puts until they put it
Because
to
it
you.
might go down to 20.
That's a good thought.
Well, if you wanted to buy at 25.
Yeah.
You know, they got like huge government contracts. There were 4 or 5 companies, and IBM and GE were part of them, and they're both kind of been going down. And I don't understand why they're doing that.
People don't know what GE is. They're making jet engines, and they're
Exactly,
also
and
making
aerospace.
refrigerators, you know?
Oh, no, they've
So
sold
what
that
kind
to
of
the
a
Chinese
company
out
is
there.
this?
Weren't they into financial investing also?
They got out. Well, the thing, but Vince, the thing about General Electric, and I would say this, they sort of like Microsoft. I think that once Ballmer left, Microsoft went up and they had a focus, and I think now this fella's leaving. Hopefully, the hope is that he has a focus. They're so, like you said, into everything.
But you gotta have a lot of
But they can
patience.
say that about the whole market, you know? It's been.
I like to know what a
since
company is when I buy it. And I don't know what GE is.
But you know,
They're everything.
they're in a lot of, but they're in some very positive things.
Right, like the geospace and.
And
Yeah,
it-
but the company is so big, these positive things make up a little niche here, and a little niche
But they
there.
could sell those.
It's gonna
They
drive
could
this-
sell.
it's gonna make the stock go
But
up.
they could sell off the negative issues. And I, like Rick, I'm like him. I'm looking at 3.6%, just buying more shares of it down there. So if you have that in a drip, it's a
And
gold
they have a
mine.
history of raising a dividend too.
Unfortunately, they've held the last 2 years. It's 96
I wanna
cents
see
now.
the chart start doing this before I
That's a Vince chart,
think
yeah.
of all those things.
Well, it's going to be a while, I think.
Well, you won't be investing in it.
It's the big investors that drive the price of the stock, and mutual funds and so on. They don't buy stocks that look like this. They wait until it starts doing this.
But like Vince, historically, can you go on a 10-year chart of this? How low is that relatively to
Well,
relative to
it's
10
been
years?
going down ever since, what's
I
his
mean-
face left, Jack Welch.
Wow. I mean, okay, you gotta go back to
10 years.
Well,
Underperforming.
so that means I need
okay, whatever. Okay, that's fine.
well,
I mean, the story was everything was pumped up for Jack Welch because he said, I don't want to hear bad news. So everybody gave him good news and everything is doing great with I'm running things.
Well,
Once he was gone, they couldn't hide it anymore. And
Well, the
reality of truth.
other thing, Jack Wells got them very much in the financials,
Yeah.
and that crashed, and that was a
That was
major,
the poor
major problem, and it took them years to try to get back out of that.
And Emil said it was easy to be a CEO in the 90s when the economy was going up.
Yeah.
Vince, can you go back to 2007 on this, when the big crash happened? Because I think it was a $15 or $10 stock.
Yeah, I remember trading it in the 50s, and then it really took a bump down into
God bless you.
single digits.
no, I can't.
So
That's it.
got it.
Quick question, Don, are you still hanging on to Newt?
NEWT.
Yes.
You are. Then give up. Okay, thanks.
Next gentleman there.
I need at least one other person in there.
So you guys go down together right now.
Do you have anything, any observations to make, or, like what you've invested in the last week, or thinking of investing, or just you come here to learn?
Oh, well, both, but actually I have a question, primarily from this gentleman, I think you were mentioning emerging markets like Vietnam. Yeah, I would like everyone's opinion, actually, can you type NGE? It's a Nigerian ETF, I guess it's similar to the one.
NGE?
Wow. Yeah.
I've never heard of them.
Sure went up lately.
So I did some research to figure out why this jumped, and it seems like there were rumors that the Nigerian president was dead, and it was confirmed that he was healthy because he's being like missing in action.
You see this right up
So-
here? That means the stock is probably gonna disappear. It's merging or being acquired or something. You see this on the chart.
Well, there's only 4,600 shares a day. That's very lightly traded.
So where does it show it's going to be,
Right here, when you see this sort
On
of
trading
thing
pattern
on
like
one of
this,
these charts, it means the stock is merging with some other company.
oh,
Does that make sense for an ETF?
Or it's being acquired or something like that.
Yeah,
Well, so that's an ETF.
ETF, it's not.
But then it means that it's being liquidated, probably, I'm guessing. That was the record.
Well, I mean, yeah, that is a pattern that generally applies in this case, although there's no
When you
information.
see a pattern like this, it usually means that things are gonna go away.
Point to the pattern you're talking about.
Right here.
Oh, yeah.
Very little spread.
Oh, there.
Looks like a narrow trading range to me, but that's okay.
It could be as an ETF that's being liquidated. Don, this is just a guess, I don't know.
Right, I mean, everybody's got their own opinion, I mean, that's it, I mean, and that's not necessarily right, even Vince isn't necessarily right.
Really?
But,
You know.
I mean, he's got his
This
opinion.
embarrassed the man.
Alright, so is that it for you?
Yeah.
How come you like, what got you into following this particular mutual fund?
Actually, so I read an interesting article about population growth driving economies, and so I did some research on like global population trends, and it seems like everywhere is pretty much flatlining right now because of industrialization, except for Africa. So then I went to look like what's in Africa that I can invest in. So this was something I found like MTN in South Africa, just all kinds of stuff. But I read some articles about the Nigerian economy, how it's going to boom at some point. So I saw this ETF and I was like, maybe there might be something there.
It looked like it boomed in June.
So I guess Africa is the only place where the population is really going to grow up. Has potential to grow exponentially, even though.
Yeah, that was kind of like 30% bump there, Joe.
Yeah. Even though the infrastructure is not there yet, like you mentioned about Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also important to find out what countries are investing into Nigeria. Because for Vietnam,
China.
I know, like
China.
Yeah. All of Africa's China. Yeah, I
And
know.
then look into the companies or the investments or who's actually investing into it, and then find out what they're doing. Maybe it might be better to invest into what those companies instead of the Nigeria itself. You know, because usually the country don't benefit from the investment; it's the investor that can benefit from the.
No one knows, everybody's just got their own opinion. But is that it for you then?
Yeah, I don't have anything today, but thanks to Wei, that last week I was not here, but I could able to see. Good job.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, it's over. You, James, there?
I'd like to add to the comments about Verizon and AT&T. Yesterday, I cut my cord. I was paying Verizon $226 a month for a TV service. I went down to paying just for Wi-Fi $59.99 a month.
Nice.
So I do think that Verizon, AT&T, I do not know if they're. I'm not saying they're going out of business. They're going to be around. But I don't believe they're nimble enough. Right now there's just so much competition on all sides from their wireless with T-Mobile and the price competition there, and also from the streaming services, Netflix and all the different options that are coming out. I don't think these companies are able to move fast enough. They have such a large number of employees. They're unionized.
Legacy costs.
They have big pension obligations. AT&T, I don't know about Verizon, but they're free. They have a lot of free cash flow.
Right.
But they are not. For example, AT&T is not increasing their dividend. They're increasing it just a little bit, but if something happens to their free cash flow, I think they'll take a real big hit. And the competition from I don't think their acquisitions, like I look at the Verizon's acquisition of Yahoo, I just don't see how that helps them. So,
I'd say, I work for AT&T and hear Randall Stevenson, our CEO, speak eloquently, wax about the acquisition of Time Warner, which has Warner Brothers movies, has HBO, CNN, and he says that there will be some cash flow added from that acquisition. They have also, AT&T has also DirecTV, which expanded quite a bit into South America and other places, and a lot of subscription income from that. And none other than Jim Cramer has talked effusively about AT&T, not so much Verizon. So that gives me hope to hang on to AT&T and write calls every week and collect a dividend, 5.25%. They did increase from 48 to 49 cents a share.
Just a little bit, very.
Yeah.
To build on this,
But there is some fundamental hope there for growth.
For AT&T, I'm not sure about Verizon.
Well, they both own the pipes, and in this age of deregulation, I think that they will continue to manage that throughput. If this were Hillary Clinton's administration, I'd say it would look more bleak because the regulations would force them to resell their content, their bandwidth. So my gut feeling is that yes, they're going to have to reshuffle their services, but they're going to own the pipes. So I'm torn on this one.
Yeah, I'm a little torn. Also, I don't know. My wild card in all this is in a couple years from now, they'll have 5G technology.
And Google Files.
Right. So I don't even think with 5G that you're going to need a line into your house.
Yeah,
So-
who's going to own the 5G?
Right. So who's going to own the 5G? I don't know how that's going to work out, but that's a major driver
We
down the
might
road.
want to Google that one, do 5G, that's the what?
Can anybody explain what 5G is other than faster?
It's basically it's gigabit speed through wireless.
So faster than you currently get on a cable modem. Wow.
Okay.
So is that it then for you,
Getting
Jane?
ready for aerospace technology.
If you take a look at the charts of both Verizon and AT&T, they look like this, which means that you're not the only guy who's thinking that way. I mean, it's generally, stocks that pay high dividends are falling out of favor because interest rates are gonna go up.
Well,
And so
but
growth stocks are coming more in favor.
But I think what John's saying earlier about his anecdotal evidence that there might be slowing down of the economy. Rates have not been going up. This week they went down.
But they're expected to go up. And so stocks move on expectations, not what's already
So
happened.
these might go up later on as economy maybe slows so fast.
Okay, this is Verizon. Now we put on AT&T. It looks the same. Whoops.
Yeah, there's long-term support at 36 there.
But both Verizon and AT&T stocks are dropping, and it's the expectation that interest rates are going to go up because the stock market always moves well in advance of the event. It moves on expectations, not what actually has happened in the past.
From what he said with
So,
5G,
well, what
I
I'm
think
doing
that's
is
gonna
I'm
rock the
supporting what
world.
he says.
They may own it though.
He's not the only guy that's got this figured out. The whole public has got it figured out. Both of these stocks are looking like this.
But then again, Vince, you know, the stock market has predicted 8 out of the last 5 recessions. So.
Everyone's got their own opinions, that's
Maybe the last 5.
What is
It's
that?
an old line.
And I just have something to add for the folks just like to follow stocks. 2 stocks that I follow, they took a little bit of a drop last week. CCI, they're a tower company. They made an acquisition and their stock dropped. One of the reasons why I follow that, they're sort of like American Tower, but it's one of Bill Gates' largest holdings.
Oh, really?
So I follow that. They just bought a fiber company. And one other stock I follow, and I'm not advising, but I just find it interesting when a stock I follow takes a hit. McCormick, the spice company, they just took a hit because they made an acquisition of. I don't know the company. It's a European company.
What's
They just
the
bought.
Yeah, you know it.
I don't know. I did, but I'm thinking it's MCK.
No, that's
MKC, Daniel.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
And they just bought a company that sells. I think one of the things they make is French's mustard.
Yes, right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
Wow.
Oh, a big gap.
Yeah, they
down
just
there.
took a big hit down. So I'm gonna track this for a little bit, but they've been doing pretty well. It's just a standard,
MMC.
but I'll just follow it. I just thought it was interesting. They took a
So it's
big
93.
hit.
Okay, well, I mean, we're getting down to the wire. I'll get, Shereen, do you have any observation?
I wanted to ask, especially the young people, what is CABPCR?
That's way out of, I'm way too old for that.
Good answer.
The Kawabunga or something, there's some kind of thing there that people, it was like on an article with an S&P or a Dow chart, and they were talking about, they were talking about how we're in a very similar situation the way we were in June of 2016. So I thought I'd bring that up here and ask about that. And somehow it relates to VXX, the VIX factor, maybe Tom?
The what?
No? You're not getting that either? Okay, another thing I wanted to ask was the advanced decline, people, I've been waiting for a pullback. I'm sure there are some other people as well who've been kind of waiting a little bit for, kind of like me. Go on.
UVXY.
I'm gonna get you.
Do that.
So, the advanced decline, I wanted to learn a little bit about that. People, it's in the same article.
Is the advanced decline here?
That there's no weakness in advanced decline, so the pullback's not coming. Is that what you guys are seeing out there too? Like, can somebody explain that to me?
Pullback for a long, long time.
Vince,
seems to want to happen.
Vince, if you compare that with the SPY, how does that correlate, right?
There were a bunch of charts in that article, so there's no, they said the pullback's not coming, it's gonna go up and up. I've been waiting for a pullback for the last 200 points.
Yeah, I think this is just going to be gradual downtrend, and then people will just buy more, and there just be minor corrections, in my opinion.
Yeah, so
it's not going to be like 20% pullback.
Yeah, usually, just wanted to explain VIX. VIX actually, it is the index about the fear factor of the market. If the VIX is high, that means the market is deep correction. So if you look at some of the charts in 2008, 2009, the VIX will be very high and the market will be very low. So that's basically a fear factor. It's a psychological indicator about the market.
One note about.
Do you think they're manipulating to have the VIX down? Is there any way to do that, or what's going on?
Yeah.
It's so low. Like.
The thinking is that the market has been high for so long. People are trying to protect themselves by buying the VIX, so that drives the VIX price down.
Oh.
Because and so that's why the VIX is low, and it's been at historic lows.
Yeah.
Right.
It was this low in 1993.
Yes.
We're okay.
Okay.
There's no one out there, he said.
And so, right.
You're
Keep going here.
Yeah, I don't want to take too much time, but it's a big
No, you
topic.
can take time, and there's just a handful of us. We're fine.
Gary has to go.
That doesn't mean you can't continue to.
And last week I said I had a question about P, that was incorrect, actually it was about LIE, and I wanted Vince to just read.
What's LIE?
The leading
It's a lie.
economic, I'm sorry, LEI.
Yeah,
Sorry,
leading
leading
economic
economic indicators that you talk about. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
So
what
that's what I wanted to ask.
see, now you can Google that, you can Google that and see what everything means with the leading economic indicators.
Yeah, I get a dictionary thing, that I've looked
So
up
what you're
already.
saying,
So
what
it
you're
doesn't-
really asking is how predictable is that indicator?
Or how does that
I
relate to
don't
like
know.
market topics?
Well, everybody's got their own opinion.
It's accurate
Or
50% of the
for that
time.
matter.
Yeah, it's probably correct 50% of the time.
I don't know.
So, was that it then for you, Shereen?
Yep.
James, you're next.
Nothing for me this week. I'll pass it off to this guy.
Dan,
I'm good.
All right, now we're at this. John, you're.
Okay. Remember I told you guys about STM last
Yeah.
week? Well, I don't know. You know, the Motley Fools. I asked Sam because he's into the Motley Fools too. It went up to like 149, and then it shot down one day to 140, and then it's back up.
STM?
STMP stamp.
Oh, okay. I was like, stamp will do 100
P. Stamp. Yeah. Yep, that's it. No, that's the wrong one. STMP. ST, 4 digits. No, ST. And there you go. We talked about this, and it shot down to 140. I wish I'd got in, and then it went zinging back up. But I'm just watching that very closely. And then another one they mentioned was iRobots, and that's IRBT. IRBT.
What does stamps do?
It's electronic stamps and moving.
Small businesses.
And this one here, when they mentioned it, it shot up from 80, I'd say 4 to 88. So I don't know when they make their announcements if it's sort of like the. It's like the
people follow Motley Fool.
the Barron's group. It'll go up and then come back down. But that's a pattern. I've only been getting I get the lower level subscription with these guys. So I don't like when they first mentioned stamps. They mentioned it at 68. So someone at a higher level with them would have known. And since I'm on a lower level subscription, it was 149. So. This might be one to look at. It's a consumer product. They're into like vacuum cleaners and appliances, but they feel there's a great growth with them. So that's just all I got.
They make the floor cleaner that's all like automated. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
So anyway, that's it.
All right, Sam, you're next. I'm going to be leaving myself, but everybody can keep on going here. Sam, you got anything to?
I didn't do anything active.
Any news on your Tesla?
Yes.
Did you get it yet?
325.
No, they're sort of shipped them.
Oh, they are shipping?
They built 30. They send you emails when yours is coming?
Then we can do the next 3. Guys, go ahead. Sorry, Sam, you done? You go ahead.
I'm good.
Yeah.
No, I need some. Next. So I'm looking at MLPs. Anybody do MLPs?
Yep.
So here's one I'm looking at. It's and this is the EFT. It's here's the symbol. The symbol is AMZA. And yes, it has a very, very, very high dividend. But this is an ETF.
AMZA.
21. I mean, it's energy. So. I mean, one of the concerns is that you have to file.
Now, what's that third letter?
Give me a ticker.
ZA.
AMZA.
ZA.
Filing one of the concerns, this thing is following the Schedule K.
K1.
Uh-huh.
They're paying. Well, I mean, Don has an easy time with it. What I found is I figured out a matrix for every box in the K1. I've assigned it to a line in the tax return. I can share that with you, what I came up with. What has gotten hairy for me is figuring out the cost basis in your stock. And to the point where I am a CPA and I got frustrated with it, and I went to a guy who's a CPA who does taxes, and that can get kind of nasty. But I can share with you what I learned.
I wonder if you heard of Gameskeeper. I wonder if it calculates that. It's called Gameskeeper. It'll calculate all your.
Here's what'll happen. Your broker is going to report a cost basis on it, and you're going to get a K1 with a different cost basis. The two won't equal, and there's the rub. That's the thing that becomes a hassle, because there's a whole bunch of things to add in and subtract out. The other piece of it is when you get the K1, let's just say there's 20 boxes in it. All the numbers in all those little boxes got to hit someplace on your return. And it's very important to stay off the IRS radar screen by doing your document matching, that if they get a K1 that says X, somewhere on your tax return needs to say X, because they will do document matching. And you don't want to fail that. Because
But you don't have to do this if you sell it, right?
No, you're going to get the K1 every year, even if you're buy and hold.
And I wanted to you don't get the K1 back from your brokerage office till very, very late in the
That's right,
tax
yeah,
year. So
typically
it's like you have to wait. You're going to be like the last person to file your tax return. So if you want your tax return every year, you're not going to get it till much later. So you can't file like in January. You have to wait till April.
I get mine in like February or March. K1s. Yeah.
So for me, this week, my Overtech put options got expired at strike 35. I sold something close to actually 7 plus another 14 put contracts at 35. That's a ORBK.
Vince, ORBK, Ovotech, ORBK.
Boy, you love that one.
I love ORBK. That was Josh's pick.
Yeah. So I sold the puts about a month ago. Yeah, so it basically expired worthless. So I'm still trying to get them. So I sold more puts for another month out at 35, and they have their earnings coming up at August 2nd, and that's got the volatility built in to the contract I'm selling. So if it goes down, great, I own them. If it doesn't, I guess that's tough luck. So I also got some other positions in long calls, because even though I collected some premium, I translate some of the premium to buy some long call, essentially just free calls that I own in Overtech. And other than that, I'm still holding my position in Adobe as a ADB. I bought Leaps, that's like expiring January of 2019, I think, at the strike of 140, and that's I got in before their earnings, so that actually worked out pretty well, and I'm still holding them and still selling puts in it as well. So I buy the long call Leaps and then selling weekly puts to try to get it.
Tom learned that from you.
No, as you're selling those puts and making it money over the course of the year, you're going to go you're going to owe taxes on it.
Yeah.
So you're going to need to make some quarterly payments, or else.
Yep.
You're selling puts or calls?
I'm selling puts because I want to get it. So if I don't get any premium at 140, then I roll for like a month out or 2 months out. So yeah, so that's what's going on. And they got their earnings coming out on September 19th for Adobe. So 2 months out. Yep. And that'll be it for me. Oh, and my Intel contract expired because I sold a bunch of puts at 34. That's INTC. Because I was shifting from AMD to Intel a few weeks ago, and by shifting, I tried to sell puts at 34 and to get them, but of course it expired above 34.
Premium is so low. Do you do hundreds of options to make something, or how do you deal with a few pennies?
I deal with at least 10 contracts at a time. At least.
Because they're just few cents.
Yeah. Not really.
No, INTC was like 66 cents last week when I looked at
34?
it.
For if you do a month out, you can get
a month out,
yeah,
not weekly.
Yeah,
they'll pay you for it.
Month
Okay,
out.
sure.
Yep. So yeah, that's it.